If you want to make change in your life, the change is not going to come from anything outside of you, but it's also not going to come through force. And that's where people get kind of fetched up because it's like, well, I have to do it. It doesn't feel natural to change. I don't know how to change. So I'm just going to try to effort my way through what I think I should do to get what I want, potentially. But what that often feels like is an abandonment of self. So it feels like I am a certain way and I'm pretending to be someone else. And it's unnatural and it's not who I am. And so it feels very forceful, but it also feels kind of scary and unsettling. And like you're sacrificing something, like you are sacrificing who you are to get what you want. And that is not a situation anyone wants to be. It doesn't feel good. And like the whole point of change, probably, I would assume, if you want change in your life, is that you think it's going to feel better, right? So we kind of have this backwards concept that I need to change so that I can feel better, but the change feels terrible. So what you actually want is to go within and release the identity, the part of you, not all of you, you're still you. Release the part of you that is afraid to change, the part that feels uncomfortable, and make it feel comfortable, make it feel safe. You don't want to power through and force yourself because you're not addressing the resistance to the solution, and you are even attaching more intensely to the problem because you're feeling like the change, the solution, the path forward is uncomfortable, and it makes you want to retract even more into the stuckness of the problem because that's familiar and that feels safe because it's predictable. So when you go inward and you look internally and you sense and you feel and you discover, like, why am I afraid of this growth? What part of me am I afraid is going to change and I'm going to lose? What part of me am I afraid is going to grow and change? And why does that scare me? Like, what is the fear around either what I'm going to lose or where I'm going to end up? And these beliefs, these feelings, these thoughts are very rarely logical. They're deeply emotional. They're based on the past and often from things from childhood. So they were constructed within us from a perspective and mindset of not a fully formed conscious being, right? We were not in our full conscious awareness when we were children. So we didn't really have the wherewithal to make more accurate assumptions and meaning out of the things going on around us. It was very much tied to my safety. Am I cared for? Am I rejected? Am I abandoned? Am I accepted? And those fundamental needs, when we felt fear that they weren't being met, we formed really strong beliefs around how we were supposed to behave and what we should do so that we could remain cared for, not rejected, not abandoned. And then we go along our life, and many, many, many years later, we're trying to change and we're feeling all this resistance. We want to change, but deep down we're terrified of the change. And it's because we have these weird little beliefs that say things like, if I grow and I'm successful, I will not fit in with my family anymore and I'll be rejected. And the idea of rejection is still rooted in the idea that if I'm 5 years old and I'm rejected from my family, I won't survive. So things like that seem trivial now are still being held deeply within you as a belief, and it's subconscious. It's not logical. It's not a conscious choice you're making. And until you look at it and understand it, it's hard to let it go because you don't even know what you're holding on to. I always say that, how can you let go what you don't know you're holding on to? So it's not to say that you can't change and grow, but the force, the effort, the needing people to tell you what to do and trying to get someone else to create some sort of regime or path for you forward, or just trying to gun forward for yourself, but feeling like you're just constantly being tugged back, That's an indication that you just have a belief, a part of you, not all of you, that is fearful, uncertain, feeling uncomfortable in a big way about making that change. And the best way forward, the easiest thing to do, honestly, is just look at that. What is that feeling? What is that part? What is that belief? And then you can let it go. It's not that hard to let it go. Once you see what you're holding in your hand, you can drop it. But it's just like you don't know it's there. You don't know what it is. You don't know what you're trying to release or what feeling needs to be felt or any of that. So that's the internal introspective experience of self-discovery. I'm passionate about that myself. I find that every time I learn something new about myself, things get clearer, the path gets clearer, and change is easier. And if you want help going inward and discovering that, feel free to book a consultation to work with me, because we do this through hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And when you're in a nice, like, relaxed state of hypnosis, it's really easy to call up memories and make connections and understand parts of you that on a logical, conscious level don't really make sense. But you can piece it together from that deeper perspective within, and you can make really powerful change. So again, book a free consultation if you're interested. Otherwise, I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.